Pero va rápido este barquito.
Esos vasitos de aluminio los voy a mandar después así todo para mostrar.
Dale. ¿Viste lo rápido que va? Yo no pensé que iba tan rápido.
Ahora nos vamos a dar vuelta y nos vamos a sentar ahí.
Yo quiero una así para nosotros.
Pero primero la casa.
Primero los planes.
We're going to take you up the New River, show you downtown Fort Lauderdale. On the second half of our cruise, we're going to go into Port Everglades. We got cruise ships, we got big yachts, we got all of the above. Now before I get going with all the fun stuff, we got to get through the boring stuff. First, your safety announcements, all right? First and foremost, if you look up above your heads, there's over 400 life jackets on the Jungle Queen. I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we've been in business since 1935 and we have never used those. How about a round of applause for that, y'all, right? Yeah. Now the bad news is they're the same life jackets, all right? I'm kidding. We get inspected by the Coast Guard. We are good to go. Now the Jungle Queen is a no smoking vessel. No cigarettes, cigars, e-cigarettes, all of the above. No smoking on the boat. Now trash cans. This one's pretty easy. Please use them, okay? This is an open air boat. It is easy to drop something in the water, so please use those trash cans. Now also do remain seated for me. This rule is a little bit looser. Feel free to visit the bar at any point and visit the restrooms at any point, but otherwise try to remain in a seat. Now my last safety announcement for you, I need a little bit of help with, all right? If you have a window seat, do me a big favor and stick your arm out those windows, y'all. Catch the breeze. Yeah, those are the emergency exits. Now, once again, we're not going to use those, but if you see me jumping out a window, you might want to follow me. Now, all I got left for you is introductions to your crew. First and foremost, how about a round of applause for Captain Seaton? He's taking care of you today. Yeah, absolutely. You got two uniformed crew members on board. That is Chloe and Christian. Find them if you have any questions, comments, problems, all the above. I am the second captain on board today. My name is Monica. Pleasure to be your tour guide. And now that you know us, go ahead and forget us. The most important person on this boat is right behind you. That is Parker, your bartender. Okay? Now, absolutely. Now, if you have not met Parker yet, I'd like to recommend you do. I've been working here for 8 years. The more trips you take to that bar, the better I get. All right. Now, with no further ado, my friends, take a look on your right-hand side at this tower off into the distance with all of the bleacher seating surrounding it. Now, this right here is part of the Swimming and Diving Hall of Fame that we have here in Fort Lauderdale. That diving tower is the second tallest in the world. We were bested last year only by China, and their diving tower is 1 foot taller than this one over here. Now, if you're wondering just how high it is, that very tippy-top platform down to the pool beneath it is a 33-meter dive. All right, my friends, we get Olympic high divers out here all the time to practice, but truth be told, there is no Olympic high dive that you gotta be that high for. So what we get more often than not is the Red Bull Cliff Diver, Lauderdale's first high-income neighborhood, all right? They did all that with the intention that some rich and famous would start moving into this neighborhood. Now, I dragged all that out, and I said it real slow, because if you've been looking to move here recently, all of our neighborhoods are now high-income, okay? But I digress. If you had gotten one of these houses back in the 50s, the nicest home in the neighborhood would have ran you like $80,000, okay? Nowadays, I've done my research. The least expensive home in this neighborhood right now is for $1.3 million. Might sound like a deal until I tell you what it looks like. That $1.3 million home is 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 800 square feet. Okay. It's a half-mile away from us. It's not water view, it's not waterfront. That's just the price that you've got to pay to live in this neighborhood. Now, I want to take it one step further with this neighborhood here.
Me gusta ese
Every
gris.
single house that you have seen so far is worth less than every other home you are going to see today. Now, why is that? These houses are considered water view properties and not waterfront. Now, the only difference between that is that these people have a street separating them from the water. Waterfront, your backyard is the water. Now, as silly of a difference as that might sound to you and to me, that could be the difference of $3 or $4 million in the value of their home. Unbelievable. Now, one of these houses I'd like to point out in particular, and I'd like to start talking about it early because I have a whole lot to say about this house. It's coming up on your right-hand side. You are going to see a 3-story home with an orange barrel-type roof and the 2 curved staircases out front. It's coming up right here. Now, this house is named after a French word. It's named the Papillon House. Anybody know what Papillon means? Butterfly, absolutely. This is the butterfly house. Now, it doesn't look like much from the front, but if you look at it from up above, it is shaped like a butterfly. Pretty cool, right? Now, those 2 staircases, to give you some reference, those are the antennas of the butterfly. Now, this home goes to extreme property limits. They have no front yard, they have no backyard, and they have no side yards. Questions number 1 is where do we live? The first floor of that home is a 10-car garage with room for 2 stretch limousines. And that's a problem at my house. Now, problem number 2 is you live in Florida. You have a mansion, but where's the pool? That house has a pool, but where'd they put it? On the roof. Absolutely, folks. They got a rooftop pool and jacuzzi. The only thing they don't have in that home is tan lines. And I'll leave it right there. Now, continuing forward, folks. Once we make this right-hand turn, we are entering into a section of the tour that is known as Millionaire's Row. Now, I promise I don't need to explain to you why we call it Millionaire's Row. You're going to see in just a second. Now, this is also the portion of the tour where the water view homes end, and we enter the waterfront. Now, the first house I'd like to show you is up on the right. It's this bright white house with all the black and white striped awnings. Now, before I tell you who this gentleman is, just by show of hands, are there any locals on the boat? Anybody live here? Okay, like 2 of you. Wonderful. I'm going to see if anybody knows this. This commercial played every 2 minutes back in the 90s. If you need a car, truck, or van, who you gonna call? Who said Ghostbusters? I heard all of you. No! He stole the jingle, but that's Maroney, Mike Maroney, all right? This guy right here made every penny of his fortune buying and selling used cars. In the 90s, he was the biggest used car dealer in the state of Florida. Now, hear me out on this one. I've heard only nothing but good things about this guy, but me personally, I don't like him. My mom told me, grow up, go to school, be anything you want except a used car salesman, okay? Y'all might agree, I became a captain, and I'm showing you the used car salesman's house. Give a big wave to all our friends on the left-hand side here. Hello! They just left the sandbar. I'll show you that in just a second. Now, I got another house for you on the left-hand side here. Oh, look, it's a 2-year-old driving a boat. Now, on the left-hand side, we got this white house with all the black features in it. Little construction going on in the backyard as well. I would like one more show of hands. Does anyone with me have a membership to LA Fitness? Ah, you in the back? You, sir? Wonderful. Ah, these 2 gentlemen right here helped buy that house on the left-hand side. That was the CEO of LA Fitness. Now, back to your right-hand side. If you take anything from my tour, take home one good idea. That theme is going to come up a couple of times. This gentleman on the right, bright white house with the brown roof, his name is Jim Dinkin. And he had one good idea. That is the founder of Honey Baked Ham. And that's the only business he started. You want to talk about one good idea? There it is on the right. Now, as we continue forward here, my friends, take a look at all the red and green things that are sticking out of the water. Now, we have a choice to make. We can go to the right. We can go to the left. We can't go down the middle. I'll explain that in just a moment. Now this path to the right, that's gonna take us downtown. You can see the skyline already, but what if we went to the left, okay? If we go left in 2 hours, we'd be in Bayside Marketplace, Miami. All right, you go south for another 4 hours, now we'd be in Key West. All right, you go south from Key West, 90 miles, we'd be in Cuba, absolutely. And right after we get to Cuba, we'd be in jail, okay? So, jokes aside, we're going downtown. Now, I said that you can't go down the middle. So what is everybody else doing in the middle? This is our local sandbar. Now, if you look close enough, everybody at the sandbar is standing in that water. It is really shallow over here. So what that means for a boat like the Jungle Queen, we run aground, we have a really bad day. What that means for locals is party time, all right? It is a Friday and it is overcast and there's still a bunch of boats out here. Tomorrow, Saturday afternoon, you can expect up to 300 boats over here at the sandbar.
Mañana
Now,
acá 3,000
hear me
botes
out,
estarán
ladies and
parados.
gentlemen, if you like people watching and you don't have any plans for tomorrow, I'd like to give you some plans. Go
La que a
ahead
mí
and
me
rent
gusta.
a boat. Come to the
La que a mí me
sandbar, sit
gusta
on
el
that
tonto.
boat for an hour, and you can watch every bad decision you've ever made happen right in front of you. It is fantastic. Now, quickly here, back on the right-hand side, that house with the rock seawall. If you look right in the center of the rocks, there is a crocodile. Y'all see him back there? He's not real, don't get excited. He's made out of concrete, okay? He hasn't moved in a while. But that croc will give you a hint at the original owner, because this guy put crocodiles on polo shirts. Lacoste, all right? That house right here was built for Rene Lacoste. Now, he passed away many years ago and the house has sold a lot since then, but before he died, he put that crocodile in the deed to the property. No matter who owns that home, that tribute to him isn't going anywhere. Now, over here on the left-hand side, you gotta listen up for this one because I can't speak too loudly, okay? On the left, see the house with the 2 American flags and the 2 blue boats? This guy calls himself the United States richest drug dealer. Okay? That's the CEO of Walgreens on the left-hand side. The jokes only get worse, but the bar is open, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're gonna go back over to the right-hand side, and you gotta stick with me on this one because this is a doozy. All right, my friends. Up front on your right-hand side, I have this pale yellow house with the green kind of Gothic style windows. Now, this yellow house and the next 2 on your right-hand side were all purchased by a gentleman named Wayne Huizinga and gifted to his family. All right, bear with me here. This yellow one was for his lovely daughter, Pamela. The white one was for his sister, Bonnie, and the next one was for his nephew, Steve Hudson. Now, I don't know what you're thinking here, but I'll tell you what I'm thinking. Who is this guy and how do I marry into the family? Okay? How do you make all that money? Wayne is the founder of 3 Fortune 500 companies, all 3 of which you have heard of. His first big idea was waste management. That's a pretty big deal. Number 2 was AutoNation, and number 3, Blockbuster. All right, now you're shaking your heads. Blockbuster crashed and burned at the end there, right? Not for Wayne. Wayne sold off Blockbuster for $8.4 billion. 9 months before Netflix came out, okay? He must have gotten tipped off because if that wasn't the deal of the century, then I don't know what was. Now, you will hear this guy's name a couple more times on the tour, but before that, I got one more on the right-hand side. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Spirit Airlines' newest terminal. Okay? I don't love this one. This one is up for sale for $50 million. 50, all right? Now the selling point for this house is that cutout in the first floor. They say that high wind, high water, it goes through the house without knocking the house over, okay? Now the builder of this home is also claiming that it's Category 5 hurricane proof. I'd like to share something with you. I'm born and raised here. I've lived through a lot of hurricanes. Over the course of this trip, we have passed 4 hurricane-proof homes. I didn't point any of them out because they're not there anymore. Okay? And that's the end of that. Over on the left-hand side, this beautiful brick mansion is up for sale, if anybody is looking. Now, the realtor said that this can be yours for $3.2 million. Not that bad, right? She was doing an open house last month. I showed up just for the fun of it. I was like, 3.2, what's wrong with it? She said, honey, that's the 10% down payment. Okay. However, you would have been neighbors to Wayne Huizenga himself. You got the orange house, followed by the green house, the pink one, the yellow. This is all one house. Okay? Now, my favorite part about this property, believe it or not, is that statue of the Dolphins. That statue holds quite a bit of meaning because Wayne Huizenga was the owner of the Miami Dolphins. Okay? Now, Wayne also started the Florida Marlins baseball team and started the Florida Panthers hockey team. All 3 of those at the same time. Now, unfortunately, Wayne did pass away about 7 years ago now. Hi, kids. But right before he died, he did something really beautiful. So he passed away, and the house went up for sale. It sold for $24 million. All right? Now, his family was waiting on their cut. To their surprise, they didn't see $1 from the sale of that home. That $24 million was split between 13 South Florida charities. All right? Really unbelievable guy. Now, just in case you thought he wasn't good enough to the family, there's one more. On the left-hand side, your last Huizenga house. Now, this one is the Harry Potter house. Look at it! That whole design was intentional. Now, Wayne took a trip to Universal Studios. He hired the architects of Harry Potter World to come and build him a home. Now, this is where the story gets funny, because later in life, he admitted to have never seen Harry Potter. Okay? Where am I going with this? You can probably catch my drift already. Wayne gave that home to his favorite niece, Holly, as a $21 million wedding present. How many of y'all are married? I've been married before, and I got a crock pot and a mother-in-law. Okay? Better luck on the next drive. Anyway, keeping it going on the left-hand side, I got this white house with the American flag and the pontoon boat. Take a close look at this one, and it'll look familiar if you've seen the movie Cape Fear. Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte. Yeah, they used this house in the filming of that movie, but they tricked you. They ripped out the palm trees and they put in pine trees to make it look like the Carolinas. Now, why waste all that time and waste all that money? Just film the movie up there, right? They did all that for Nick Nolte. He was a resident of Fort Lauderdale at the time, and he was wearing an ankle bracelet from the Broward County Sheriff's Office. I told a lot of jokes today, my friends. That one was not a joke. Now, next up, over on your right-hand side here, got the house with the American flag and the lights along the dock. Now, this house here, nobody famous, no movies, nothing like that. This family called us. They said, hey, put this in your tour. Our house has a bigger kitchen than any home you pass on the tour. Now, mind you, this is completely unconfirmed, but I believe them. The kitchen inside that house is 1,700 square feet. I heard somebody say, why? Why not? I have no good idea. Now, at this point in the tour, my friends, I'd like to bring it back down to earth, no pun intended, all right? I'd like you to keep an eye out for some of our local wildlife. First and foremost are iguanas, all right? Keep your eyes out for those guys. Despite how many of those you will see on the tour today, they are wildly invasive. They are not native whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they're my least favorite animal down here, but they do look cool, so I'll try to point some out. Animal number 2, please keep your eyes out for manatees, all right? Keep your eyes in the water. They are native, they are adorable. We're a month outside of manatee season already, but the good news is manatees don't know what manatee season is, all right? So keep your eyes in that water. Now, Coming up here on your right-hand side, I got another cool piece of history for you. Got this house with the arched windows. Now, this house is a private residence as it stands now. However, this used to be the John Robert Powers School of Modeling. In the 70s, that was a big deal. I'm talking Christy Brinkley, Cheryl Teagues, the names go on and on and on. Now this modeling school was such a big deal that this white apartment complex you see was built as the dorm rooms for the modeling school. That's how many girls were going there in the 70s. Now, not too long ago, I had the pleasure of meeting a guy named Captain Gary. All right, now Gary ran this boat.
¿Cómo que apagaste la vela?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Dos cositas. Primero el deseo.
Sí, el deseo.
Un segundo, porque le tengo que pedir a que me ayude con el deseo. Ay, paren, ella me dijo que iba a haber una mujer desnuda bailando en este caño para mí, un hombre desnudo bailando en este caño para ella. ¿Dónde está?
Ya viene la mujer porque la tengo cambiándose en el baño y él tiene que ir a quitarse la ropa y la corbata.
Hasta que no viene no me voy.